on to our devotion. So I have one question before we start. So, can you relate to this picture? Ayun. So, kung nakikita niyo sa taas, sa upper picture, yung boss, parang slave driver, kumbaga. And like, parang go, go, go. Yun yung peg, ganun. Pero yung sa baba, yung boss, nasa harapan siya ng mga people. And parang sabi niya, let's go. Parang na-emphasize yung we and not kayo, ganun. Na mag-work lang. So, maybe there are times na you've experienced na may leaders na super, super bossy, ganon. Or maybe there are leaders na masyadong mapagmataas. Or sometimes they're getting perks na hindi naman dapat, ganon. Like parang kung CEO ka ng company, di naman necessarily ibig sabihin nun may libre ka ng penthouse and Ferrari, ganun. Pero ayun, wala naman akong pinapatama ngayon . So, ano ba relate nun sa passage natin for tonight? So, our passage for tonight is found in Matthew 20:25 to 28. I'll be using the NLT version. So, I'll just read it for us. It says, "But Jesus called them together and said, 'You know that the rulers in this world lord it over their people, and officials flaunt their authority over those under them. But among you it will be different. Whoever wants to be a leader among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first among you must become your slave. For even the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve others and to give his life as a ransom for many.'" So, ayun. Okay. Short context lang to this verse. So, the mother of James and John, yung sons of Zebedee, part sila ng 12 disciples ni Jesus. So, yung mother nila, she asked na her sons will be on Jesus's left and right hand sa kingdom niya. So, tumanggi si Jesus, sabi niya, hindi yan pwede. Walang ganun, walang ganunan. And then, this is, narinig ng mga disciples yun, yung the rest of the 12 disciples, sabi nila, hala, bakit naman ganun? Tapos, ito yung response ni Jesus, yung etong passage na ito. So, one thing that was emphasized here was servant leadership, or the idea of being a servant or slave. So, the idea of being a servant or slave is kind of like this, not what can you do for me, but rather what can I do for you. And don't worry, itong slave or pagkaka-servant na tinutukoy ko, hindi siya yung masamang kinda. Pero, kasi usually maraming negative connotations with being a servant or a slave. Pero in the Bible, it says na this is actually something that we should do, something that we should practice. So, ayun nga, if you will contrast it sa unang picture na nakita natin, yung parang slave driver na boss na sa taas, tapos yung sa baba, parang part siya ng work or part siya ng workforce nila. So parang he's also serving in that respect na he's also helping those under him. So it's not necessarily applicable to a work situation only, pero to any structure with leadership at all. So this can be our church, this can be in our school, like SSG, ganun. So lalo na this was found in the Bible, etong principle na to. I think all the more that our church, CCFLP, should practice this. So again, wala naman akong pinapatama, pero I'm just saying that it's a good reminder that in this way we can worship God, because if we really do love God, we want to obey His commands, and this can be our form of worship by serving others. So, ayan. I would also want to emphasize here sa verse. So, if we go to the next slide, ayan, sabi dito, but among you, it will be different. So, parang kino-contrast niya yung way of the world, which is how the officials parang hold their position of authority over the people, like nagiging masyadong prideful, ganon. If that's the way of the world, then among us as a body of believers or a church, it should be different. So, yun yung tinutukoy ni Jesus here. So, this applies not only to the leaders of our church, not only pastors or the group leaders, ganon, but it can also apply to us normal members. So, if we want, parang baligtaran pag ganun sa heaven, di ba? Those who are poor here will become rich in heaven, ganun. And those who will serve here, those who are servants here will become the first in heaven. So, ayun. This can also apply to us when we become leaders, kahit sa simpleng group work sa school, ganun, or kung in-appoint man kayong leader over school committee. So, being a servant is also part of being a good testimony to others in our circle. Pero, as with all things, a lot of things or a lot of principles in the Bible is really easier said than done. So, it's really hard to serve someone, especially when the work is something you don't like, or maybe the person you are serving is not someone you are particularly fond of. The Bible doesn't say na do it for only the people you like, or do it only if the work is easy. Kaya nga servant, di ba? Kasi usually they do the stuff nobody likes to do. And it's hard to do that of our own willpower. So all the more that we need to pray for servant hearts in our church. Ayun. So with that in mind, we should proceed to our prayer time. We should pray for our church to have hearts of servants so that we can worship God, and in that way, maybe we could also bring others to Christ through our example. So that's all for my Devo for tonight. Thank you for listening.